If you're single, you may not fully relate to it, but if you go back to the time when you were in a relationship or living with someone, it shows up pretty clearly. So that's the scoring points thing. So I bring her 24 roses, 1 point. Bring her 1 or 2 or 3 roses twice a week or every week, something like that. Not always having your secretary do it, but she knows you were out, you got that, you got it done. Those little expressions of love. And maybe for some women, roses aren't it. But there's always little things that you wonder over with in the beginning. And those are the things that keep filling up sort of the bank account. Now, the bank account idea is hormonal. This is all hormones. So let's go into the science of biology and biohack that. This is the whole key.
I love this, John. And yeah, let's go into it, because when you wrote this book back in the day, this one blew my mind. And I never equated, I had no idea these hormones were playing a key role. And it really changed the way I showed up. Just the 6-second hug you talked to me about, I started implementing that way back when you told me about that. And it was just, those little things, man, add up in a major way. So yeah, I can't wait to hear what you're going to say about this.
And it's 6-second hug, but 4 times a day. You know, it's the comings right. and goings. He said that's when it's most rich. When I come home from work, my kids would run to me, and the first thing I learned to say to them is, "Where's mom?" Because she would be at home quite often, or she wasn't. I play with the kids, but just the fact she's number one. And not only did it affect her in a positive way, affect the kids in a positive way, because they realized mom is number one with me. Bonnie would say to me, sometimes she'd complain, she'd say, kids aren't listening to her, they listen to me. Well, you know, I'm the guy, they've been missing me all day, so I get a lot of, finally a break and everything. So there's a lot of newness when I would come home. They're with mom. This is when they're young. She's there all the time. So anyway, I thought about it and I realized, okay, what are some things I can do to help the children respect mom? You know, when mom says dinner's ready, you go. You don't just wait around and whatever, come in the dinner. And the kids weren't listening to her. And I noticed that I'd be on the computer and mom would say, dinner's ready. And I'd say, okay, kids, go on in. I got to finish some emails. You see what that did? That said, mom's not so important. So I started just when mom would say dinner's ready, boom, they see me just jump. And they started realizing there's an equality here. You know, you got to listen to mom too. And when I come home from work or whatever, I would always, the kids want to hug me, come close to me. First thing I'd say is, where's mom? And they'd all trail along as I go off to mom and give her a hug. Even the dog knows, bark, 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 and barks towards mom. I don't even pet the dog, basically. She's number one. These little things had a big effect. I mean, telling you, it was amazing. So like in the new book that you're just mentioning, Beyond Mars and Venus, I basically point out a lot of our problems today are when women are being more independent, which is a good thing for many women. They love it, the freedom, the power. I was just in a workshop, and I was talking why men like to punch the pedal. You know, that raises testosterone. Men need to make 10 to 20 times more testosterone than a woman. Otherwise, we are stressed. And the stress can show up as what most people think of stress as you're frustrated or you're anxious about something, but also passivity. Just sitting there doing nothing is actually you're producing stress hormones. So whenever men are passive, irritable, grumpy, or even angry, or have anxiety, or they're procrastinating, all those aspects, if you measure a man's testosterone at that time, basically it will be lower than it should be. Because testosterone gives him motivation, it gives him ambition, it gives him libido,